Good day, third year English literature students. Today we are going to do a poem by T.S. Eliot, and the name of the poem is Preludes. The word preludes means a preparatory exercise expected to lead to something more detailed and more full-fledged. Preludes means something introductory. So, T.S. Eliot is a poet of the modern age, and he belongs to both American and British traditions. He was born in America, but he came to England in 1915, and in 1927 he became a naturalized British subject. T.S. Eliot was known for his criticism and his poetic theories, and his growth as a poet is clearly reflected in his critical work. He wrote several plays as well, and he experimented with poetic drama also. And some of his important works are the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock, Four Quarters, and The Wasteland. Now, these were the poems which set new trends in poetic tradition. And writing in the tradition of metaphysical poets, he adapted cinematic techniques and stream of consciousness to write poems. He also created rhythms and images which were modern and reflected the tensions of the contemporary life. His poetry is marked with dissatisfaction. We are remembered of Matthew Arnold when we read his poems, marked by dissatisfaction with the cultural and social situation. And we also notice in his poems that there is a strong conservative element in this dissatisfaction. So let us start with the poem Preludes. This poem has 4 sketches written in 1910 and 11, and it is vividly done with a painter's eye. Means he paints images with the help of words and captures landscape and atmosphere in the first 2 sections, and then he describes 2 character sketches in the last 2. There is a depressing gloom of winter evenings, heavy with lingering smells of food in Prelude 1. So let us start with the poem. First I will read out the first section of the poem. The winter evening settles down with smell of sticks in passageways. 6 o'clock. The burnt out ends of smoky days, and now a gusty shower wraps the grimy scraps of withered leaves about your feet. And newspapers from vacant lots, the showers beat on broken blinds and chimney pots. And at the corner of the street, a lonely cab horse steams and stamps, and then the lighting of the lamps. Now, those students who have read the poem Ode to Evening may recollect the beauty of evening, and those students can contrast the beauty of evening expressed in that poem with the ugliness of evening in Preludes. Here, winter is not shown beautiful. Winter is shown as something ugly. So the winter settles down with the smell of sticks in passageways. It does not settle down with some incense or with some freshness or dewdrops as in the poem Ode to Evening, but here the winter is settling down with smell of steak. Steak means rotten flesh in passageways. 6 o'clock. So the time of the day is 6 o'clock and the season is winter. The burnt out ends of smoky days. Now here the poet gives a beautiful metaphor when he compares the day, the time of the day, with burnt out ends. As a cigarette, after it has been smoked, is left and it is thrown, the 3/4 of it is smoken and 1/4, the burnt out end, is thrown. In the same way, 3/4 of the day has passed and only 1/4 is left. So, why he has compared this time of day with a cigarette, with the burnt out end of a cigarette? Because of its size, 3/4 of it has already passed and 1/4 has remained, and it is smoky because it is winter, so it is smoky. And now a gusty shower. Gusty shower means rain laden with dust, wraps the grimy scraps. Now here again the beauty of rainy season is not described, but again the ugliness. The rain here is also ugly. It is laden with gust. It is laden with mud and soil, and it wraps the grimy scraps. Now notice the word grimy, of withered leaves about your feet. Now we have to imagine that some people are walking on the street and there's a shower of rain laden with mud, and because the person is walking, what happens? The withered leaves are clinging to his feet, and newspapers from vacant lots. And because of the wind, all these vacant lots made of newspapers, they are flying from here to there. The showers beat on broken blinds and chimney pots. Now, the showers are so filled with rage that they are beating against the broken blinds. Blinds means the glass of windows. They are broken and the shower is beating against them, and chimney pots, and they are making sounds. And at the corner of the street, a lonely cab horse steams and stamps. Now here he has also described the situation of animal. The cab horse, it is steaming because of the cold weather and it is stamping its legs. Even the horse is not happy. So everything is grimy and everything is dark. And then the lighting of the lamps. And then he says that suddenly night falls and the lighting of the lamps take place. Now in the first section of the preludes, we find the season winter, which is not beautiful, which is not welcome, but instead of incense, instead of fragrance laden air, the atmosphere is laden with the smell of rotten meat. And the day is being compared not with something beautiful but with a cigarette end. Even the rain is not beautiful, it is not welcome. It is coming with a lot of mud, and withered leaves are clinging to the feet of the walkers. Then he says that the showers are so strong that they are beating against the broken glasses of the windows. And then he describes the situation of a cab horse. He is also not happy. He is steaming and stamping. And then comes the lighting of the lamps. Now let us start with the second section. The morning comes to consciousness of faint stale smell of beer. From the sawdust trampled street, with all its muddy feet that press to early coffee stands, with the other masquerades that time resumes, one think of all the hands that are raising dingy shades in 1,000 furnished rooms. Now, in the second section, he says that the morning begins to wake up, and again there is no welcoming smell of incense, but there is a stale smell which is not too strong, but still it is coming from the street, and it is strong smell of beer which is covered with, and the street which is covered with sawdust, and that has been trampled by muddy feet rushing to buy an early coffee. Now again you see the people are rushing towards coffee stands, towards beer bars, but they are not rushing towards temples and churches. Now this shows the degeneration of spiritualism. So he says, and along with all the other illusions that daily routine makes people go through, again one is also prompted to think of all the hands. Now he says that we imagine that what happens in the morning, people are raising the dingy shades in order to let light in, and they are raising the dirty blinds of the windows, and the poet imagines that in thousands of furnished rooms all over the city this is happening, that people are raising their hands not in prayer, but they are raising their hands in order to raise the dingy shades of the windows. Now you see, we have seen evening. Now we have also we are seeing the atmosphere of the morning. Now both these atmospheres are not very positive. They are both filled with negativity. They are filled with gloom. So let us start the third stanza. You tossed a blanket from the bed. You lay upon your back and waited. You dozed and watched the night revealing 1,000 sordid images, of which your soul was constituted. Now, he is describing a human figure, and he says that it's a lady, that the lady, she is waking up because it is morning. She tossed the blanket from the bed and she laid upon her back for a long period of time, and she waited for her consciousness to return. Then again she dozed, and she is watching all the dreams, all the nightmares she had during the night. She is watching them replay on her ceiling. And what does her dream constitute of? Her dream constitutes of 1,000 sordid images, of which your soul was constituted. Generally, we dream whatever we have seen, whatever we have thought of, and whatever we have imagined, or whatever we have desired. So, that lady is looking on the ceiling, and the ceiling is reflecting the nightmare she had during the night. In other words, the nightmare is reflecting the feelings and thoughts of her own soul. So thank you, and in the next class I will continue with the same poem. Thank you.